Well, you know what I mean. Right.
I do know what you mean.
So, episode
We'll say
21.
this.
Episode 21. Huh? What?
Episode 21.
Is that what?
Yeah.
What?
Go ahead. Episode 21. Go.
We're live. Episode
Oh,
21.
I figured. What's going on, everybody?
I'm Xcalion. This is Batsam. I gotta apologize. I've been under the weather the last couple of days. So I'm getting back to it today. My voice is a little off still. I'm good though. Got my water. So we're gonna run this. No beverage for me tonight. Not while I'm on some antibiotics.
Yeah.
You love to see it. Everybody drink water. It's good for you.
I mean, yeah. If he keeps preaching it,
so
eventually we'd have to listen.
Well, maybe.
I mean, no.
How's your week, Sam?
That's vodka. Full of vodka.
It's all vodka. Yeah. It just looks like water. Thank God.
For sure.
But Sam, he's back after his super busy week that he had last week, taking care of the family, doing dad things, and quite successfully, might I add. So, how's it going, man? How's it going?
Things are good. Good. Last night was kind of a busy night for the bar. I live pretty close to the Football Hall of Fame, so it was it's a Hall of Fame weekend right now.
Right.
We had like balloons flying and people all over the place. Otherwise, pretty good. I finished up actually just before we went live. I finished up all of my solstice gear, so I now am a glowing boy, and I hate it. I hate the armor. I hate the way it looks. I wanted it for my collections just to say I had it, but it was a colossal waste of time. I did it for Space Grandma. I like the bright dust. I went from having no bright dust to 12,000.
That's fair.
It's a really good farm. I mean, if you hit her weekly bounties on each character, that's 400 apiece on each character every week. So you're looking at down the barrel of 600, and you get to do that for 3 weeks.
Oh, there's Mr. Bloodbane in chat, LMAOing. He's Lamoing over here.
Yeah, it's not a great look. Honestly. I hate the way So all right. So my gripe with it is instead of just like glowing like it should, just like you have intricate like designs and it's glowing. No, like for whatever reason they decided what you should have, plastic pieces coming off of you that are also glowing, baby. Like that's the new thing. Like you got like this fin on top of your head instead of like extruding light. It looks like one of those like weird those pop vinyl pins that you have. It's stupid.
Yeah.
This was probably the weakest of the glowing armor they've had in the last 3 years.
I agree. Bloodbane says the first glowing armor set was the best, and I can say the D2 first solstice armor is quite sexy. I do have that. Yeah. So, I do gotta say I really liked the weapon ornaments that they had for this event, which was for the Wither Horde and the Forerunner. The Wither Horde one too. I mean, Wither Horde is just already such a cool looking weapon.
For sure.
And all like it's regular and the ornaments look good, but this one does makes it look kind of regal. Exceptional, yeah. Same goes for the Forerunner one, so I do dig those. But apart from that, I put on Twitter, I did not partake. Like, I can't say it all because I did get my initial armor set.
Yeah.
And that's it.
I mean, you have to kind of do that anyway, just to kind of get the quest rolling. But...
Right. But that's it. And then I got that. I'm sitting on like 100 silver leaves or whatever that I never turned into silver ash. I never did the bonfire bash once.
Yeah.
Sniper says, "What? You don't like those '90s plastic light up pieces in your armor?" No.
The answer is no.
No.
Honestly, it looks like someone took
because
those,
you know why? Because they come from China. Okay, China.
I was gonna say honestly, it looks like someone took those streamer lights they hang up in their room.
Oh yeah.
And they just wrapped it around the armor.
Yeah. No thanks.
I mean, if I really wish they'd let the community design their armor, which that's actually something they talk about later in the TWAB. They talk about a weapon skin.
Yes.
But I would love to see the solstice armor be like a community thing. Like maybe like once or twice a year, like, hey, you know what? We're having a major event. Come up with some designs and then bang. Give it like some serious time in advance, but let the fans start making your armor because we've gone over this before.
They do feel like
they have some cool
ideas.
Yeah, they lock behind like this year's like the skull armor, the nightmare armor. Objectively, really cool.
Very cool.
This dungeon armor, absolute garbage. And every other piece of armor this season, garbage. The only thing that was good was the stuff locked behind the paywall.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't think that's a coincidence.
Yeah, no, for sure.
I would love to see that change, but we'll see.
And depending on what raid's coming up will depend. Like, if Wrath is coming up, then we got some pretty cool armor coming.
We hope. We hope some good armor's coming.
Okay, that's fair. It could be a different armor set, I suppose. But
it.
They gave us the original Vault of Glass armor, which is cool and all.
Right,
but
it
it
took
looks
away
like
Chatterwhite.
But they took away Chatterwhite, and it looks like Dookie. That's not a good looking armor set.
So if Crota comes back, I know you're watching. Glowhoo, don't change it.
Sam, we gotta talk, bro. We gotta talk. No, but in all seriousness, I do believe at some point in time we are going to get a revamp to the way we do our shaders and stuff. We got a couple of chats here. Yes, Blood says it sounds like light up Skechers precisely, and then he says,
pretty much.
We are listening, so we will nerf Curus of the Falling Star before Arc 3.0. Bungie probably. Maybe, I don't know.
We hear you. We hear you. We're listening. We understand that you want this nerf more than anything, more than Crucible rebalancing. Titans, get... Man,
dude, I have...
so disgusting.
I have one of my Twitter friends, MJ, person I was talking to the other day about the potential raid and stuff. It's so funny because, like, they had said that at one point, like, we hear you, we're listening. The very next day, you know what happens to him? He gets blocked by DMG.
Fantastic.
And we're all just laughing about it. He didn't even care. He's just like, that's really, really funny. We already have mini Crota and Dares, and Sniper says sounds about right. Yeah.
No.
Yep. We'll see. I
want the raid back though. I want Glowhoo. I want my hunter to. I want my warlock to look like a witch.
I
don't know. My titan to look like a knight.
I don't know how you do. I don't know how you do Glowhoo and Shatterwhite with the current shaders that we have now.
Well, here's the thing. I wouldn't care so much if they weren't bringing back an existing thing and changing it for the sake of just changing it.
Sure.
Like, we have, what is it, Bitter Pearl? Like, it's white and it's got a touch of purple to it.
Right.
So if it's the same thing, why did you change the name?
That's fair.
Is it a file thing? If it's a file thing, I totally understand. But if you're bringing everything back from the same thing for the sake of bringing back the same thing, why change one random thing?
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair.
I don't know. It's whatever. But this TWAB is pretty light today. They go over a couple balance changes. They introduce a new type of PvP mode. They talk a little bit about a weapon skin they're having the community design. But honestly, very, very short. And we were kind of expecting that.
Yeah.
The new expansion. Oh, like I said, the new expansion. The new season pass is coming out, what, in like 2 weeks now?
3.
2 weeks, 3 weeks?
3 weeks, yeah. Let me pull up my calendar real quick.
We're going to be seeing Arc 3.0. We're going to be seeing the reprised raid. So honestly, this next season should be popping off really well.
2 weeks from Tuesday.
Especially with, yeah. So this is going to be fun. I'm very much looking forward to seeing how they're going to change up Arc. I really hope Kamehameha get love and attention that it so desperately deserves.
A couple things, yeah.
We'll see what happens. Sniper says also got blocked by DMG and the Destiny game. LOL. Call them out for their price pin and not advertising it on
the Pride pin
in the Middle East account. Yeah.
That was. I without getting into too much, that is low key kind of funny.
Anyways,
let's get into this.
We got a raid in about an hour.
Yeah, we do. Iron Banner 4-1-1. More Iron Banner is on the way next season, this time Sans Rift. To talk about more about what's on the horizon, we've got Principal Designer Alan Blaine here. What's up, Alan? He says, hi, everyone. Now the Iron Banner is officially wrapped for Season of the Haunted. Let's talk about what we've learned. So, I'm not going to talk about what he's learned. I don't care about that. I don't think you guys care about that. What we're going to talk about is Eruption. What is Eruption? Eruption.
Game mode.
Eruption is Clash with energy boost based on kill streaks. It was affectionately called Streak Mayhem internally before we gave it a real name. During Eruption, killing your opponent scores 1 point and a normal amount of energy. After that, when you get your second elimination in a row without dying, assist count 2, you become Surging. You start lightly glowing. Kills start generating 10% super energy and 20% grenade melee and class energy. Your score 3 points per kill. When you get your 5th kill without dying, you become primed. You begin glowing brightly. Your team goes on the hunt. Everyone on the team gains 5% super and 10% grenade melee and class energy. You now gain 12% super energy and 5% grenade melee and class energy per kill. You score 3 points per kill. Sounds great, right? So who wouldn't want to be primed? Well, glad you asked. You also have a 15-second timer on you. If that timer reaches 0, you erupt. Erupting kills you, which resets your streak and ends the hunt. Getting a kill resets the eruption timer back to 15 seconds. You are then marked for both teams so everyone can see right where you are. The other team gets 3 points for killing you. Choices. More than one player can be primed at a time. We are excited to get Eruption into everyone's hands, and we hope it continues to illustrate our desire to bring new and unique experiences to the Crucible and Iron Banner. One of the things we learned with Rift in this current season is if we have a brand new mode like the most recent iteration of Rift, introducing it to everyone in a high-focus environment first highlights inevitable issues that any multiplayer game has. So, I want to stop right there. Because there's a lot to unload, right?
There sure is.
Boy, oh boy, there's so much to unload.
Go for it. Let him have it, Ledge.
Okay, no, seriously though. You're designing a game mode that de-incentivizes people to go on kill streaks. While also re-implementing SBMM at the same time. And I'm sorry, but why in the heck are we using Iron Banner as a test platform? Yeah. Why? Yeah. How does that make any sense? They said it. They said it, right? They just said it. Yeah. Introducing it to everyone in a high focus environment first highlights inevitable issues.
Right.
Yeah, but it's Iron Banner. This isn't regular Clash or Control. This isn't regular sixes, And I mean, it's hardly Iron Banner anymore. You already took away, the power level, right? What's the point anymore? I have a lot of ideas on how they can really fix Iron Banner. I'm not going to go into right now. I'll go into it a different time. But this whole thing that they're doing right now, I'm sorry, this ain't it.
Right. Now, first we have a couple comments. Blood said he would join for the raid, but he's enjoying the pool at Niagara Falls. He'll be back on tomorrow. He also says, sounds like a bad design, especially with a 6-stack group. Just mercing everybody. He says, we are listening.
God dang it, Blood.
So here's the thing. The part we glossed over with them talking about Rift was all of the data that they had acquired from people playing Rift. My guess here is that in order for them to roll out a new game mode, you're not as likely to click on that rather than, let's just say, get your 4 matches of Control and be done for the week.
Yeah.
With Iron Banner, it's a bit different. If you want those extra pinnacles every season, and they're limiting it to just 2 times a season, you're going to jump in that game mode, even if it's just for 1 pin. And they've kind of locked you into that situation. Now, I have mixed feelings about it, but I'll say this. Locking out people doing kill streaks is good for the common player, and here's why. Legend here is a person who will regularly go on, 20 kill streak? 15?
Close
maybe?
Close to it.
So, on a regular basis, he's streaking. Not the kind that'll get him arrested, but the kind that'll get him some hate mail from the people he's playing against.
Sometimes both.
That being said, you going up against people who just started playing, like new lights, going to get train wrecked and they're not going to have a good time. This game mode then helps them get to a place where it's like, ooh, once I get a kill, maybe don't go hide again. Maybe get a little bit more aggressive with it. I got some oomph in my step now. Now it's time to keep pushing. I'm not trying to defend the game mode. I'm trying to point out like maybe a side we're not seeing. This might be a way of teaching new players to be a bit more aggressive in the Crucible and potentially foster a new round of better players for Crucible. Because if this is what it takes to get you in PvP, then the PvP community is going to want it to be there because they're desperate for new players. And if this is going to help train up new people to come and play in that, maybe this is what the game needs. Having them replace the identity of Iron Banner with something brand new every single week, every season, it's kind of rough, especially for us hardcore fans who have been in Destiny since the beginning. Iron Banner has always been either control or kind of like a team deathmatch kind of a deal. It's weird that they're picking this specifically, but though it does make sense, and honestly, it kind of fits canonally as well, or canonically, whatever proper turn of phrase is, with Saladin being Brockus Forge now with the Cabal, and they've already said Keitel had some ideas on how she wanted to change up stuff to make it more engaging for the Guardians. This makes sense for the story on why it's changing, but I feel like they can keep doing that until whenever and be like, okay, Saladin settled on this rotation and go from there. Bloodbane says it doesn't help. He also doesn't help capture. Yes, Ledge doesn't capture stuff unless, he's the only one there. He's also, it's a good thing.
The hell, man.
It's going to be Clash. Yeah. I mean, so take away the grain of salt, honestly. Like, the biggest gripe here is, yes, you're not incentivizing people who are hardcore PvP players that are going to go for those big streaks. Yeah, but also if you kind of look at it as Trials is the hardcore, you can now look at Iron Banner as kind of a gimmick.
Yeah.
Like there's always something new going on. It's
For
like,
sure.
okay, what's this time? Like what kind of games have we planned up for this week's family picnic? I don't know.
So once we get through the meat and bones of the TWAB, I'll go over my ideas for Iron Banner. And seriously, if this is something that you guys like, and I really think I'm onto something here, by the way, then we'll talk about that and maybe see if we can't get some like support out there in the social media areas and whatnot. But yeah, I mean, I do agree with what Sam says. So far as like the story goes, I just don't know that this is the way to do it, and I'll, as I said, give my ideas on how they can actually improve on this later. But for now, we'll move on, and they're talking about Rift now. Basically telling you Rift isn't going away. Rift is going to be on the weekly rotator now.
Joy.
Rift won't be an Iron Banner for Season 18, but that doesn't mean this mode is gone forever. Most of you will be happy to hear that Rift will now have a more standard overtime rules. For those who may not know what exactly that means, overtime is that added time put on the clock to give teams a shot at breaking any tie that may be in place. It also gives us Titans a fair shake to just go ham with those fiery hammers and hope for the best. There's one for you there, Blood. Alan is back with even more details about what players can expect, including lessons learned from the rebirth of Iron Banner. Alan blames. Yeah, go ahead, sorry.
So this part, they kind of just go through and they talk about, like, hey, we realized people were holding the balls too long and just waiting off the clock. We know that the overtime was a bit much with just having 3 balls at the same time and then dunking one. People glitching out on the map, just finding a way of just making it basically a free-for-all. They go through and they talk about a bunch of the bug fixes they did, and they attribute to finding all of this to it being in Iron Banner.
Yes.
Because if you wanted that Iron Lord title, you had to grind on it. And they go through and they talk about that. So if you want to read that in depth, it's here. It's just a lot of tedious numbers that we could sit here and go through. But eventually, they get to the end here and they're like, oh, that's the goal for the new mode as well. We're going to put it here to find all the bugs it fixes and then make it part of a regular rotation.
So the changes coming to Rift, starting next season. Explorations with 3v3 Rift, which is cool. That's not next season. That's coming in the future.
Yes.
They want them to have smaller maps like Wormhaven, which may also allow them to use slightly asymmetrical maps like Burnout. Fixing scenarios where one team can play keep away with the spark longer than intended, lessening the black screen time after scores, and further measuring to discourage overt kill farming. So,
yes,
all good things. They are going to implement some of those changes next season. I think that, unfortunately, just the way it is, I think that we're still going to be locked to the same 3 or 4 maps. So, Blood says, more time for me to contemplate why I played Rift with this added OT. Nice. Sniper says 17 clears. This guy needs to watch the WoW episode of South Park. Yes, I do.
Yeah.
All right, moving on. This is my favorite part of the TWAB. This is great. This is amazing. New exotic weapon ornament? Aw, you shouldn't have. We talk a lot about Destiny 2 fashion, but the threads of style aren't limited to armor. What's a good look without the appropriate accessories? Am I right? We're excited about the new weapons and other gear on the way, but we think it's time for a few more familiar pieces of equipment to get a makeover. Even better, we want you to decide which ornaments become a reality. Even better than that, the designs behind the proposed ornaments were created by an artist from our community of Destiny 2 players that are pure magic when it comes to bringing the game into the real world through art. So, how does this work? First off, we're leaving it up to you in the community to pick the exotic that gets a community-created ornament. We have 3 options for you to vote on in an email we will send starting on August 16th. So, the options...
So if you are a fan of the show and you wish to support the Speaker Clan podcast, you will vote for Sweet
Rat
Business.
King. I'm sorry, he said Rat King.
I said Sweet Business.
Rat King.
All right, so if you're with Batsam, it's Sweet Business.
Honestly, it's real talk though. I'm confused as to Arbalest because Arbalest got an ornament this season that is actually really nice.
So if you look at these 3 weapons, I can tell you why. Arbalest has become meta and is dominating right now when it comes to GM.
No, I get that.
Sweet Business is a weapon that has fallen from what was a auto rifle meta not too long ago, and it was devastating when you could sit in a bubble or behind a barricade wall and just go ham.
And Rat King.
Rat King has been out of the meta for a while. It has very niche places in PvP, and nowhere is it used in PvE. They definitely have tried to bring that back, kind of like with this season, where it's like, oh, anti-barrier, go invisible. You could do stuff with it. To get the real power from Rat King, you have to have your full team using it.
Yeah.
And it's just not worth.
So, Rat King actually helped me out with several Master Lost sectors this season.
There you go. Yeah, because you could go invisible.
Anti-barrier, and it makes you invisible, exactly. And that's nice. But that being said, that is only useful whenever it's anti-barrier sidearm or anti-barrier whatever, right? Or not anti-barrier, but sidearm, whatever.
But these 2 weapons here, the Sweet Business and Rat King, have fallen out of meta and are not played a lot in a lot of places.
Yeah.
These 2 weapons have been in the game since Destiny 2's launch, which is why they're getting some more love.
Yeah.
Being shown more love.
Watch this. I'm willing to bet, and I'm going to say exactly what I think it is. I'm willing to bet Sweet Business is going to get intrinsic overload rounds pretty soon.
Yes.
I say overload because it's sustained fire at a very rapid rate. Yeah, I feel like that's a very real thing for it to be in the future. The day they put a Titan gauntlet in the game that allows you to dual wield auto rifles is the day I renounce being a warlock and will only dual wield Sweet Business. Oh man, that is some steep circumstances, my friend.
They are some very steep circumstances. Like if I'm giving up my flowy robes and my Nezarec Sin for 2 Sweet Businesses, it better be for 2 gosh dang Sweet Businesses.
Yeah, for sure. I do want to reiterate. I see both of these being viable options because both of them they each have several ornaments, but they don't really like. Sweet Business has one that changes the shape a little bit. Just a little bit, like makes it look kind of that gold regal kind of look. And then Rat Kings are all pretty similar. So I like this. I like seeing this. Again, Arbalest, I don't really understand because it did just get a really nice ornament. I know. It's because it just became meta, but this ornament is an actual true to God ornament that changes the look and gives it a very nice scope. I'm going to say it's pay to win for PvP even. It's so good. But yeah, I can see these two definitely. If you guys watch ASTRO, I don't mean to pimp someone else's content, but he's talking about getting some anime waifus on that sweet business, and I'm actually, if that happens, then I'm okay with it. Bloodbane says Omni plus Rat King. You got dang right. Bloodbane also says akimbo businesses plus Action Warrior. Well, hold on, no.
Yeah.
You get one or the other. You get one or the other. Yeah. This Titan Exotic does not allow you to equip multiple ARs and an extra exotic. That is unacceptable.
What if Axiom Warring lets you do that?
Okay. All right. What do my hunters get? Let's talk about that.
Nothing. You get nothing. You get your. You know what? I'll tell you what. You get zombies back at full power. Dodge this.
How about this? Okay, fine. But warlocks get they get arms that allow you to dual wield Kamehamehas. You know.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Laser dance show.
I have 2 sweet businesses now.
And hunters.
What are you gonna do? Factually, you can do nothing. You can't get around this many bullets.
No. We get something that allows us to dual wield Ace of Spades only.
Yeah.
And it's Ace of Spades, so, you know.
That's cool. How are you going to aim, bro?
It's Ace of Spades. You don't need to aim.
Yeah. No, you're thinking of...
You get Bones of Ao back? Really?
There you go.
Really?
Also, we're glossing over the fact that you skipped part of what Sniper had to say. He said also mommy bathroom in his last bit about watching the South Park episode of WoW. I feel like that you've alienated one of our close... contributors to our comment section by not reading the full thing he had to say. How dare you?
I was waiting for you to finish it and you never did. Jesus.
No, you weren't.
Jeez.
No, you weren't.
Jeez. Once the Spiffy Exotic has been selected, we will be working with the chosen community artists as we help them create 3 different ornament concepts. So basically that's it. August 16th, be looking for that email. You can respond to pick the one that you want, Rat King, and or, you know, sweet business is fine. If we get an anime waifu sweet business, I'm okay with that. Watch it be like, it's not just anime waifus, like it's very specific, like Mara Sov and Anna Bray and Anna Bay and Mara Suave. Yeah.
And let's see that on those.
Yeah.
We'll get a sword that's just a body pillow.
No. Body pillow is the new Sparrow.
There it is. There it is.
Okay, we're done. All right, but that actually, I say we're done. That's actually kind of true. We're actually kind of done.
Literally the twab. Yeah.
There's, you know, your normal stuff, and then Hippie tells you to drink water, as we opened with. So, I do expect that we have. What, two twabs? Is it 2 twabs? We have two twabs left before the new update. Blood says, I wish they do armor voting too for seasonal ornaments, because whoever designs this thing other than this year's needs to be fired. And I think they've kind of experimented with that with the Halloween stuff.
Yeah, and I like that, but what if they did just that? What if for specific events, like they always come out with an ornament for the Guardian games. They come out with one for Solstice. They come out with one for Halloween. They come out with one for Christmas. What if these 4 things you could vote on?
Yeah, that's fair. Or, you know,
or just give us another one to vote on. Because honestly, it makes the community feel like they're a bit more engaged with it. Because, man, mechs winning this year. Gonna have some sweet mech armor. Gonna look like Evangelion. Cannot wait.
Yeah, that's gonna be sick. I'm pretty stoked for all that.
I know.
But
really
yeah,
excited.
and you can imagine those concepts will change a little bit between then and now. They did with the monster armor, so
yeah. Which they just polished it up. I feel like it definitely looked better this time around than last time.
Yeah, for sure. So that being the TWAB, we can talk for a few minutes. We're only 30 minutes in, so quickly I'll give you guys kind of my rundown if y'all are ready. Go Sniper, go Gundam Titan, hell yeah, hell yeah. Blood, I know you agree with him. Yeah, no, seriously, Blood was so stoked whenever he had the Dido armor from the Prophecy Dungeon, because he's like, Gundam Titan, hey! Like, yeah. That was awesome.
No, but Blood has like this amazing Optimus Prime cosplay.
He does. He does. Even has the sword from
Thundercats.
No, that's from Thundercats. The Star Saber looking thing.
Oh,
from
the Thundercats one came out this time. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. He has the Star Saber looking thing. I already have an Optimus Prime. Yes, sir. That's exactly what we're talking about. So, yeah. The super stoked for that. So I do have an idea for Iron Banner that I think is both viable and potentially warranted, since there is basically no real point to Iron Banner anymore.
Other than the 4 pinnacles.
The pinnacles, yes, but whenever I say point, I mean like there's nothing that makes it different, right?
Engaging,
yeah. Yeah, sure. It's just a different PvP mode that you get 2 weeks out of a season.
It's lost its identity.
Exactly.
It was control with an added twist.
Right.
Capturing all 3 bases gave you an advantage. They've taken that away, and they're turning the modes that they're giving.
And with the power leveling, right, and with the power leveling not being enabled anymore, it just seems kind of funny. So here's my thought. They initially said that they limited it to 2 times per season to accommodate for the holiday weeks that they have. So, and that's fine, but they do cool things whenever we have the holidays, and they kind of do this whenever we have Iron Banner. Holidays, they change up the look of the tower. What we have right now for that's the best thing for me. The best thing that we've had throughout this entire Solstice event is the way the tower looks. It's awesome. It's beautiful. I dig that. But yeah, they do stuff like that. I love that. I love seeing that. You love seeing that happen. But Iron Banner, they kind of do that. You get some flaming pillars kind of all over the place. Then you have your spot where he goes, where he's at the Ava Levante location now. Here's what I want. Iron Banner, you have it twice a season. So make the week about Iron Banner. Okay? Right. Change up the tower. Make it look like Iron Banner. Whenever we had Iron Banner back in Destiny 1, we had an entire wing of the tower that we could not access unless it was Iron Banner week. And you went in there and there's just flaming stuff all over the place. That's where all the Guardians are in there, hanging out next to Salad Man. And, it's great. So embrace that. And here's what else happens. Iron Banner encompasses all things Crucible, okay?
Right.
No specific playlist. You play Crucible, you get Iron Banner rank. You play comp, you get more Iron Banner rank. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And there can be, let's say there is a dedicated playlist for, whatever activity, sure, and you can get maybe some more rank from doing that. But you can just play regular Crucible and get the benefits of that. You have your bounties or whatever. You have your challenges that you can complete. But yeah, just do something towards all-encompassing. And again, if you play comp, you get rewarded for comp, right? Like, you get extra Iron Banner rewards for doing that, if that makes sense.
Yeah. So what if, kind of like what they're doing right now, right? So what they've been doing recently is, well, this is started with this season. If you're wearing Iron Banner armor, you had a better chance of getting other stuff out of it. You got more reputation, and it completed some triumphs for you. So what if, in playing just standard Iron Banner, that happened, and you get the extra bonuses from wearing the stuff, but what if you didn't get anything from the other rest of the Crucible playlist unless you were repping the Iron Banner?
Okay.
It's like wearing your team's jersey into the, another stadium.
Right.
It's like, okay, yeah, cool. You're showing up and you're showing pride. But then, like, you could go play normal control, and if you don't have anything with Iron Banner on, you don't gain anything from Iron Banner.
Sure.
Start repping the Iron Banner while you're in a normal match, then you get it for free.
Yeah.
So it gives the insight, like, oh, why not just have this on for this week?
And
that way, go ahead.
I was just going to say one more idea. The Iron Banner playlist replaces the weekly rotator playlist, so you're not further because we already have the weekly rotator, which gives you
Yeah.
whichever Clash or Scorch or whatever. Iron Banner week, do that.
So my thing on this is this: our gripe with how they've been handling stuff is they kind of strong arm you into playing the new mode because you have to play Iron Banner. Now, replacing that whole playlist further strong arms you into, you want to play Crucible this week? It's Iron Banner. You either like it or you don't like it. So what if, again, instead of like forcing people to get in there and play it, the only way you get so you get reputation with Saladin for playing normal Crucible matches with Iron Banner gear.
Yeah.
Or they have the banner or whatever. It can be universal ornaments, all that fun stuff. But you only get Iron Banner drops, like the weapons, the engrams.
That's
all that
fair,
stuff.
from the playlist.
That only comes from the playlist.
That's
that
fair.
way you're incentivizing going to do that because there's weapons and stuff that you would want. But if you don't want to play it, you don't have to. You can go just normal Crucible.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm just saying, whatever it is, replace the weekly rotator. Whatever that weekly rotator is, it's just further...
Oh, okay. So instead of like Rumble, it's...
Yeah, exactly.
It's Crucible.
Well,
yeah, okay. I like that.
We always have Rumble, but I mean, like Team Scorched or
okay.
whatever.
Mayhem Flash or whatever.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it replaces
I'm
that.
down with that.
And that way, because all you're doing is further breaking the population right there by doing that.
Right.
So I think that's there. Just put it in that spot so that whenever they want to go do that, they're doing the Iron Banner stuff or whatever. That way you are kind of forcing people to do it. It's really no different because all Iron Banner is now is a weekly rotator now, right? It's nothing special.
Pretty much.
That way you can get your pinnacles, you can get your other stuff just for doing that. Yeah, I just think something like that would make it, would simplify it. And I really like the Iron Banner aesthetic, so I think, just for the whole week,
I would like to see for Iron Banner in the future, I'd like to see more variety with the armors. And what I mean by that is I would like to see more, so Iron Banner is a representation of the armor. I don't know if you've paid attention to the armor. The armor represents all of the great warriors of the different eras. So like we've had samurai gear. We've had knight gear. We've had like this one is like underwater weird armor. So we've had a bunch of different kinds of armors, and they've been like themed like, oh, this is like woodland animals and trees. Like, let's start doing it fresh. But let's see like Shaolin monks one time. Let's see Vikings one time. Let's see berserkers one time. Let's start seeing like representation of all these different warriors from all around different eras of history. Because that would make sense if Guardians come from literally anywhere. Their background could be like the Iron Lords were the greatest warriors of their tribes, of their time, of their areas. Yeah. So you could see like some really cool like kinds of symbols coming in on the armors. Just they could do a lot more with it that I feel like we're not doing. But that's going to be for the future because I know they're kind of advanced in their team. One thing, we've talked about this a bunch. And I feel like it's always beating a dead horse when I bring it up again. But they really are laying a foundation for how they want to do stuff in the future. And if this is how they want to introduce new game modes now, before they take off, cool. I really feel like we're going to get probably the biggest push and the biggest resurgence of players for Destiny 2 when Lightfall hits, because it's the end of an era. Stuff that players experienced in Destiny 1 is going to finally come to an end at Lightfall. So this really could be like
the final
thing ever.
Shape officially.
Right. So this, what could happen here? Because they said Lightfall was going to be. There's one more after this, right?
It's going to set up the final shape.
Yeah. So there's this, and then we have, but like this is going to be enticing. This is going to be like bringing people in. Like Witch Queen was phenomenal. I would definitely put that up with King's Fall. Like that whole block of content that was spectacular.
Oh, the Taken King.
Yeah, the Taken King, fantastic. I would really put Witch Queen up there with that. That the storytelling was on par with that for me. But with Crucible and how they've been changing things, you can tell they're setting up for bigger.
Yeah,
they're trying to get the groundwork laid, and it sucks now because we're seeing them like shift their dirt, like we're seeing them shift their feet around, something that we've been used to for a long time. They're trying to change it up. trying to be able to build off of it, and some things work, some things doesn't, and they're asking for a lot of community feedback. Like, oh, hey, we really need you to play this game mode. All right. Don't really want to, but yeah. And that's just my thought on it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I could be totally wrong. I could be off base.
No, I feel like just with like the Iron Banner playlist in general, that's not the labs playlist, right? Like that shouldn't be for the labs playlist. We have that. We have labs. It's there for a reason. Use it for that. If you're gonna do something new, put it there. It just makes Iron Banner seem so futile, I guess.
I agree. But what if they did it like this? What if they made a labs?
Mm-hmm.
So what if you are a Bungie subscriber and you get their emails and stuff? What if in that email, like, hey, would you be interested in trying this new PvP mode? Clicking yes gives you access to this, and for playing a certain amount of time, you are given an emblem.
Yeah, sure.
Play for a bit longer time, you get a shader. Play for a bit longer, you get a weapon. And it's randomized, and that'll be a weapon that drops in that block of content, or when that block of content comes out.
Yeah.
So you would have a weapon before anyone else.
Sure.
Do that enough times, and you're going to get the community like, oh, yeah, I'll play it. Because people like loot.
Yeah,
But that's them coming out with something that, brings it together. That's just my take on it.
Yeah.
I like free loot.
Everybody likes free loot. But I mean, again, there's a lot coming up. Of course, we're 2 weeks away now from season 19. Is it 19? Is that right? Am I wrong, or is it 18?
No, it's season 19.
It is season.
It's 19.
We're at 18 right now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, 2 weeks away at this point, 2.5 weeks or whatever. It's going to be big. One more thing that Sam and I did kind of want to talk about. We got a few more minutes here. Why is it that we think Bungie has been so hush hush and so tight to the chest like they've been lately? And I think he and I both kind of agree. I think with the reasoning we kind of talked about it. We've been talking about it for weeks because of the harassment stuff that's been going on with the Bungie devs, and there's plenty of things that I can say about that. Maybe unnecessary things, I do feel like there is a point where, while some of the harassment totally unwarranted, some of the things that people have said, not cool, totally not okay. People are people. The Bungie devs are people. They don't like it. People can say things to me, and I'm fine. I'm a different animal, though. Sam's the same way. Like, we handle things a little differently.
Right.
It doesn't really bother us, sticks and stones, right? But not everybody can handle that, and I understand that. But that being said, they are putting themselves out there in a way that I think that there is a point where they should expect some criticism. Now, I'm being very specific when I say some criticism. Again, death threats, not cool. The racism and stuff, not okay. Not cool. You could say the same for the sexism, all of that stuff. Like, you can criticize without being a jackass.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's really anything else needs to be said than that. You can criticize without being a total douche. And I've seen a lot of people who have been pretty critical. I myself have been very critical, especially PvP. Last few weeks regarding PvP, finding out some of the things, I kind of feel like I'm getting crapped on right now. And there's a lot of things that I would like to say that I'm gonna keep in. If it isn't gonna help, don't say it, kind of thing.
Right.
But I don't know. I don't know if that's why they're staying so quiet, or if it's just the fact that I think that for a while now they've been playing this new kind of method of they started this with prior to the Witch Queen, right? We didn't know a whole ton of details until it happened. Season 18, where we're at specifically right now, we didn't know a thing until like the week before. Like, not a thing. I think we talked about it before. I think it was maybe like a couple of days. I think it was maybe the TWAB day before the initial release for Season 18 that we got the trailer or whatever that kind of showed off the armor.
I think we got the trailer the day before the expansion came out.
It might have been the day before. Yeah, it was. Mm-hmm. Oh, it was. Yeah, it was. It was really, really like not a lot of time. I think you're right about that. I do think you're right. And then here again, they're doing the same kind of thing. It looks like we're 2.5 weeks out. They've shown us nothing. We know nothing. We know that there's a new reprised raid coming. We know the Arc 3.0 is coming, and that's about it.
Yeah. And some of the things we talked about leading up to our conclusion that they're wanting it to play it close to the chest like this is, what if they're keeping it close to the chest because in the past where they've come out with like, we're excited to announce this, and people get upset about it, and that hurts numbers. Maybe they've done the algorithm where it's like, hey, in 1 month's time, we're dropping this, and this. So the hype train had a chance to go and either went or it went the other way, and they saw low numbers based on the season coming out. Like, I didn't like the armor, didn't like the weapons, I'm not getting the season. Okay. Their new business model for expansions has continued to be this: you buy it and then you also get the seasons. So you're kind of locked in. So once you buy it, you're locked in for that year.
But for the people that buy it per season.
Right, and I think playing it close to the chest is the safe way of assuming that maybe they won't notice and they'll buy it anyway. Maybe this is
Uh-oh. What just happened?
I don't know. Are we still live?
Yeah, it's still ticking. What the heck?
I mean, hey, it works. I saw on my end that you went down, but anyway.
Man.
But maybe they're playing it close to the chest because they're concerned that people are going to look at it, realize, like Blood.
Thanks.
Blood doesn't play unless he wants to loot. So if they show off the loot ahead of time, and you decided for yourself, I could skip the season, they've just lost out on a potential sale. Versus play it close to the chest, don't say anything. People don't have time to analyze trailers, don't have time to data mine or like take photo frames of every single thing. I'm like, this is what we can expect. Well, that builds either hype or criticism. And honestly, playing it close to the chest keeps the criticism away, and you have to kind of play it to find out. So they've kind of snuck in another $10 for themselves. The other thing of that is, what if they're playing it close to the chest because they themselves aren't aware of the next round of content they wish to drop, or they're still finalizing that content?
Yeah.
A lot of studios nowadays have been really pushing, have been trying to distance themselves from the industry buzzword of the grind. A lot of studios that say, we don't do that, have come out and they actually do grind. And grinding is just a matter of keeping their employees late, 60 to 80 hour work weeks, standard pay, nothing extra, no overtime. It sucks. But if you're trying to stay out of the media for that, then maybe don't advertise that kind of stuff. And maybe that is one thing. I doubt that that's what it is. My next and final thought on that is, what if it's because they changed hands recently with the person like running the scene, the behind the scenes, like the story direction and everything else, because it was like Luke Smith and then it was someone else.
Yeah, it's changed hands a couple times.
So what if it's that? What if this is just how they decide to do that? I feel like, at least in my personal opinion, you have to have some level of hype train. We're hyped because we know that Lightfall is coming and we don't know what's coming with it. If you give us a little test, a little tease, kind of gets more exciting about it because there's more speculation. And that can work either good or bad, because games like No Man's Sky, they promised the world and couldn't deliver. Now, that's actually a whole other story there, but they've continued to work on the game ever since, and it's actually fantastic. But the hype train for that game was so astronomically huge.
I wasn't an early investor.
It was a studio of 6 people that made that game. And the guy who was doing all those interviews, Sean, he has a fear of public speaking. And if you watch like his body language and stuff, it looks like he's lying. He's super nervous. Like someone I watched recently a video on all of that stuff, and it was a very good read. Long story short, he promised everything and couldn't deliver on it, and that burned, some bridges. But they decided, we're gonna work through this, and that is something that a lot of studios are afraid of now. No Man's Sky is like one of those big failures, but they recovered, and so they're not remembered for that anymore. Fallout 76 is a colossal failure, and deserves to be taken out back with a shotgun.
And it's an example of something that to this day sucks.
Yes, they still haven't fixed it.
They never,
and they're not going to. They're like,
to.
Oh, we're done. Yeah, we're fine. Bungie, on the other hand, they've been in both situations. They've overhyped things.
Yeah.
Like the first 2 DLCs that came out for Destiny 2, and they weren't good. And then they have had great success with hype for
Forsaken.
And for the Scarlet Keep. Like those 2 expansions were phenomenal, and there was some serious hype behind it. I think it's just a change of hands, but I can live with no hype, but I would like to see a bit more. But that's just my personality.
A bit,
maybe they found what works for them, and honestly, I'm here for it anyway.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be seeing it. I'm gonna be playing it. It's just as somebody who enjoys the game and somebody who like is gonna continue playing the game no matter what, I would like to see it like just a touch bit more. And who knows? Maybe we'll see that in the future. Maybe when they talk about what's happening next, will they say the 23rd? Because they're going to talk about some stuff with Lightfall. Maybe we'll get some more reveals for that. Because they talked a little bit about stuff for Witch Queen. Like we knew we were going to be fighting. We knew we were going to be fighting Lucent Hive pretty early on. But yeah, so maybe they're saving hype for expansions and not the DLC, not the season passes.
I think one thing to be cognizant of for everybody, and this was true. This has been true a couple of times in Destiny's career. Back after Forsaken, before Shadowkeep, whenever they had split with Activision, everybody knew it was going to take a year, at the least, at the most, at least, maybe a couple of years to really get their bearings and see what their identity was at that point in time. And I think everybody kind of gave them a chance, and that's how we ended up with the seasonal model that we're in right now. And I think I certainly expected it. I don't know if a lot of people can say that. I certainly expected it because I saw that they were at a point now where they weren't getting the money from Activision anymore. They were going to have to make it up somewhere. I truly believe that would happen, and here we are.
Yeah. Yep.
A couple of things have happened. They've been pretty financially successful. They've been able to add on to their work staff before the Sony acquisition. Now,
they were doubling their positions before Sony was in talks.
Yes, exactly. Now Sony's coming on, and here's the thing. I don't want people to get too excited about the Sony acquisition and what that means for the future, because it's pretty specific. Sony, it's not just Sony like the video game developer. It's Sony like interactive, yes, but it's like multimedia, right? I think Sony is there to give them money to do lots of things, not just the game.
Yep. Agreed.
Yeah. So I don't want everybody to blow the hype train, on that.
Right.
It's certainly going to help, and I hope that's my one thing right now. Cross my fingers, knock on wood, hope that they focus on their game, because the game is where everything else stems from, right?
Yeah.
They have nothing else. Exactly. They have nothing else. They have nothing else without the game. They don't have a TV show. They don't have a comic book. They don't have a board game. They don't have any of that stuff without Destiny the game. So I really hope that that's where they take that focus. And I think Sam is right. I think that this is potentially, I think somehow their investors, they do have investors. I think that somewhere along somebody said, hey, this is what's working. This is what's bringing in the most money for them. At the end of the day, it is a business. Sniper jokingly states, Bungie surrounded with dollar signs. That's what every company is.
Yeah.
Name a single company out there that does it for the good of the company. And maybe there is one. I'll tell you, there is one. I can think of one. He just mentioned it. Hello Games. They made No Man's Sky, and they made their initial game. As I said, I was an early investor. I think I sent them a couple $100 pretty early on, and to try and get that game going because I was stoked for it. The initial game came out. I was pretty disappointed. But do you know what they did? They said, hey, screw it. Everything they have done since has been free. All you have to buy is the game.
Yeah. So a little bit further on that, when he went back, when they all came back from holiday to start working on all the stuff, he went to his employees and said, here's what I want you guys to do. Because everybody in the studio, again, 8 people in their studio. They started off with 6. They went to 8. And by the end, when the game launched, they had 16 people. So when they went back into the studio, he said, give me all your social medias, give me all of your emails. And he took all of the hate mail away from them, and he kept it himself. He then dug through and found people who had played the game for 10 hours, 100, and began compiling their notes, and then made a graph. And he put it for the team. He put it up for the team on the wall and said, "Here are the things that they want fixed. Here are the things we're going to go do." And they went media dark. They said, "We're working on the game," and nothing.
Every now and then you'll get a trailer for something big coming up.
Yeah. Was it the first DLC came out 5 or 6 months after the game? After being completely media dark, they said, "Boom, here's one expansion," and went dark again. Months later, same thing, and they're continuing to do that. Their game has completely turned around and is still winning awards for how they're doing stuff. That's a small studio that was passionate about their game. When you watch the people that make Destiny, and you hear it in some of these writings as well, because Hippie and DMG and everyone else, they've talked about their game. They speak from a place of passion about this game.
It is their job,
Yeah. A lot of new people that have been brought on to help with the game played in Destiny 1, and they're stoked about getting to help create the next round of stuff. And when you're passionate about something, you're excited about it, and you're going to want the best for it. Yeah, they haven't made some great decisions in the past, but what company has? Everyone makes mistakes, but the game is still going. It's still growing. It's still thriving. And Sony willing to drop a good amount of money on that shows that they also see a value in this company. So yeah, they do some stuff we don't like. But you know what? We're all still here. And you're listening to 2 guys talk about a video game that we like, and we don't get paid for this. So at the end of the day, we all like Destiny. We're here for it.
Yeah, for sure, 100%. And that's pretty much it for today, guys. I think we covered what we wanted to cover. Had a little bit of free time. We talked about some stuff. Spent 30 minutes kind of ranting and raving.
Yeah, as we do.
So
yeah,
I think we're getting off of here and getting set up for a raid.
Yes.
Sniper. Blood. He already said he can't. So Sniper, you're more than welcome, buddy.
We need one.
We got a thing to do. I think we're doing we're doing Vow tonight.
Yeah, and then tomorrow we'll do
DSC.
Yeah.
Blood, you're gonna help us with DSC tomorrow.
Sweet.
Wink, wink.
All right, Snipe. We'll see you on in about 5 minutes.
Thank you all for tuning in to episode 21 of the Speaker Podcast and Radio Show. I am your host, Xcalion, and this is
Batsam, and we will see you all next time. Snipe, we're starting in about 5 minutes.
Never mind, lol.
Yep.
Bye.